Hey, so we had a slew of weak economic data this week. So why did mortgage rates fall? Let's dive in. Hey, so welcome to this week's Mortgage Minutes with Mitch. I am Mitch Jenkins, Senior Loan Officer with Your Home Financial. So let's start with some very positive news. They missed. Now we're going to dive into some not so great news that we've been seeing, some weak economic data that I hinted at. So let's start with leading economic indicators. Down yet again. 26 of the last 27 months, leading economic indicators were negative. The University of Michigan, the Consumer Sentiment Report, that fell again, so 4 consecutive months of a negative reading. The Cass Freight Index, now I haven't brought that up in a while, but that was actually down to the lowest point it's been in 4 years. Now what that means is Cass Freight basically measures the amount of shipping goods and materials across the country. So if that's down, that means there's not as many people buying these goods and services. Now, unemployment claims have risen 20,000 in the past week, as well as continuing claims. Those also went up 20,000, showing more people being laid off, and it's getting harder to then find a job. Now, retail sales, this is an interesting one. So they came in flat, 0% on the month. So, surface, that's not great, but that's not too bad either. However, there was a seasonal adjustment to the numbers, and if it weren't for that adjustment, they would have been negative 5.6%. Now, in light of all this weak economic news, which should have helped the bond market and lowered mortgage rates, they've been pretty much flat, and actually they kind of worsened just a tiny bit this week. So why would that be? Well, one observation is a lot of economists have come out and said that last few weeks, Trump's odds of getting reelected have gone way up. In light of recent events, I'm sure you've heard, Trump's odds of getting back into the White House have greatly improved just in the last few weeks. So a lot of these economists are now thinking that that is inflationary, that that's actually going to take us back. It's odd because if you actually look at his first term in office, he wasn't very inflationary. Now, granted, because of COVID, there was some massive spending, and that inflation kind of rolled into the next term. But during his term in office, the CPI headline inflation numbers actually dropped. So it went from 2.5% down to 1.4%, well below the Fed's 2% target. And shipping imports actually went down. Instead of an increase of 3.8% that we were seeing at the beginning of his term, that was down to 1% by the end of his term. So inflationary does not seem to fit his policies, yet these economists are out saying that. So in my opinion, that seems to be what's happening. Now, I'm not an economist. I'm just here to try to report the facts, and that's how I see it. Now, one thing I do want to end on, Fannie Mae recently did a big survey for new and potential home buyers, and we found that only 1 in 7 potential home buyers know that you can buy a home for 5% or less down. So a lot of people still think that you need 15 or 20% down in order to buy a home. So if you are one of those people or you know anybody, please let's have a conversation. I'd love to show you the opportunity and how you can potentially afford a home. So if you know anybody, please tag them, like, comment, share this video, whatever you can do to get the word out, because 6 out of 7 people believe you need more than 5% down in order to buy a home. So let me help where I can. Would love the opportunity. So hey, as always, thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.